You look beautiful. That's a good color on you. I like that.
Oh, thank
All
you.
right, honey bunny, we are recording. I just want to thank you for being here today, Lynn. I just have 5 questions around our time that we spent in Wisconsin at the lake in Campbellsport. The first one is, what called you to join that lake retreat? And I guess it's 2 parts. What intention did you kind of hold in your heart as you arrived?
Good question.
Thanks.
2 things actually called me to the retreat. One, I had been on your Miami trip, and it was just so soul lifting. It felt I just felt refreshed and rejuvenated and at peace when I came home from that. And my friend Laura, who I traveled with to that, I had seen the Campbell Sport come up and I'm like, oh, I should do that, but I don't know if I have time. And Laura reached out and asked me if I would join her again. And I immediately said yes, because I'm like, okay, this is my sign. I just need to go. So it was twofold. First, I had just a great experience in Miami. And secondly, my dear friend invited me to join her. And as far as my intention, I was going through a major life transition with
Yeah.
my career.
Yeah.
And so I went with an open heart, thinking I've got a lot going on in my life right now and positive change, but yet change is still hard and stressful. And I
Yeah.
wanted to really have that opportunity to kind of find some quiet and calm so that I could
Yeah.
imagine what my next steps would be on my
Yeah.
journey.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely perfect for that.
I loved your cabin that you guys are in. It worked out perfectly. That sweet little room when I was putting your cards and like deciding where everybody was going to sleep. I just felt like that little room just called to you guys in that cabin. I don't know. It felt like somewhere that you and Laura would really like and find special and find some quiet and peace there. Yeah, good. Well, thank you. Was there a moment by the lake or in our like one of our circles or during the weekend that you felt especially like healing or magical for you that you can kind of look back on and share with us?
That is difficult to pick just one because it's amazing to me that the entire weekend just felt magical. So many just golden moments to take away from there. I think it's always very interesting to see other people's journeys and what they're going through and how
Yeah, really.
relatable
Yeah.
that can be.
Yeah.
I would say one that really stands out to me right now that just popped into my head was we were sitting in the living room of the farmhouse and Sarah was doing the meditation and intentions with us. And we were doing kind of a blindfolded to kind of really be introspective and think about what's
Mhm.
going on in our lives. And it really made me think about how things are falling into place for me and how grateful I am for
Mhm.
that. And sometimes when you're in the rush of everyday life and you're trying to figure out your next step, you kind of forget, or I should say, I kind of forget to
Yep.
that moment and be introspective and be present
Mhm.
and be grateful.
Mhm. Yeah.
And that moment with Sarah, and there's so many of those little gems throughout the weekend with you and with Sarah, and with our wonderful author, where it's like it really made you stop and be present in that
Yeah.
moment and
Yeah.
realize what we have to be grateful for.
Yeah. I know. We often think about what we want or what we want to bring into our life, but we rarely think about how far we've come. I feel like we don't give ourselves credit to think about how a year ago I wanted this and now I have this and I'm experiencing this and good job me.
Yeah,
It's yeah. I
that is
hear what
so
you're saying.
valid.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you. Um, the next question is, how did the retreat kind of nourish your spirit or your sense of connection with yourself and, being in nature and just, yeah.
Well, you touched on one of the things. I think it is amazing that Laura and I ended up in the cabin where there were only two other women, and it was just a nice, quiet time to be introspective.
Hmm.
First of all, it was beautiful. The lake views were beautiful. Coming back in touch with nature, I always enjoy. And so much of the trip was outside, getting grounded in the grass and doing yoga and joining around the fire with like-minded women. And no matter
Yeah,
how different we all are as far as backgrounds, how it is interesting how the right women end up on these trips at the same time.
I know.
Um, but I think that just being in that little cabin and having that quiet, which I rarely have
Yeah,
at home and in my job,
yeah,
was probably one of the most beautiful things for me.
yeah, yeah. Thank you. It's never a coincidence, is it? I don't think it is. I think
I
that
think you're
things are.
right.
I think things are meant to be, and in that special group of women, just like in Miami and also here, although very different, right? But still, like how we left feeling very similar and about the experience. I think that that's such a beautiful thing, that just opening up to all kinds of people and all kinds of friendships and stories. And yeah, it's special. So special. Okay, number 4. If another woman would ask you what this retreat could open up for her, what would you share from your own experience?
Mm. I think that the sky is the limit. If you go into this with an open mind and an open heart, seeing the transformation in some of these women while we were there that were going through some really difficult things, and
Yeah,
how they were closed off when we started, and just to see them blossom like a flower was unreal, and open
yeah,
up, open their hearts, open their
yeah,
minds. Um, and again, I was at a different part in my journey and didn't realize like how grateful I am for some of the things, traumas that I have processed and where I'm at today. So I think it doesn't really matter where you're at in your journey. If
yeah,
you go with an open mind and an open heart, these retreats can just be
yeah,
magical.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I know there was one woman in particular that we're probably both thinking of, that even the color of her skin changed. Like she brightened.
Yeah.
That was really magical. I'll never forget. I'll never forget the way she came to the retreat and the way she left and how she looked ever. Yeah, it was. Okay, last question. In 3 words, or however you wanted to say it, you can do more than 3 words, but how would you describe the energy in the essence of kind of your time at the lake? If you were to just kind of summarize that.
I think it's more than 3 words, but to sum it up, and it was said multiple times by multiple people through the weekend, is your vibe attracts your tribe. And
Yes.
I think that just going back to the fact that we're all meant to be at a certain place at a certain time, even though that might not be our reason for planning it or what our intention was,
Yeah.
that group of women will never be at that same spot at the same time again. And it truly was magical.
Hmm.
And not everybody was vibrating at the same level, so to speak, but I think that everybody was there for a reason, and maybe it
Hmm.
was to help ourselves, to help each other. Um,
Hmm.
but at the end of
Hmm.
the day, I think that it was just such a beautiful thing, this group of women
Hmm.
that connected, and I think we'll have a lifelong friendship.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Lynn. I'm so grateful for you. Thanks for recognizing some of those really special pieces that I just, whenever I'm feeling like a little down or blue, I always just kind of think back to those special moments of like that closing circle when we were holding each other's hands and
Mhm.
just having that conversation around who I'm grateful for and what I'm grateful for, and grateful for myself, and the rarity of how that moment is that moment, of those people. And it's really special to have that with them. Yeah. Thank you so much.